Okay, so we're here this evening to celebrate the life and times and the anniversary as we celebrate a centenarian this evening, Mr. Carl Lewis, who is here celebrating his 100 years. Carl, welcome and congratulations for making this very significant milestone. You've been covered here live, we're doing a video, and we want to talk a bit about your experiences. We were told that you have been a long-standing member of the People's National Movement. What you could remember about joining the PNM? What do you remember about the PNM and your role and function in the PNM?
Well, I would say when Dr. Williams came here, the very first thing that happened is when himself and Don Basil Matthews had this thing in the town hall in Port of Spain. What I like about the whole thing is that people in Port of Spain went to that occasion and everybody enjoyed it. And he decided to come to San Fernando. But I don't know if
Well, I know that he was invited to San Fernando. I know the Old Boys Association, Mr. Mohsib and Gerard Montano and Winston Mahabir.
Right. And the thing about it is that when he came to San Fernando, had a few people.
A smaller crowd.
Small crowd, and he said he was going to come back. And the talk was that San Fernando didn't appreciate him and whatnot and whatnot. So eventually he came back. And when he came back, he said he was going to come back, but he never came. And that time, the hall was full of people.
Second time he came.
I don't know if you remember that. But
that would have been a Harris Promenade, was it?
Yes.
On the bandstand?
You're right. Mm-hmm. Now, in those days, I used to sell the PNN people. As a fact, before that, and when he said he was going to lay his bucket down here and so on, I was one of the persons that was really, well, he had my heart. And I decided that I was going to follow him right down from the end. Then he started with his lectures, and I never missed any of those lectures whenever he come to San Fernando.
So you attended all the meetings that he had in San Fernando?
Every meeting.
Do you remember, so that would have been in late 1950s?
Yes.
Okay.
I was a member of the OWTU, and I was on the committee. And we used to myself and George Weeks used to try to get the meeting finished. Anytime he come down on a Monday or Thursday, we used to try to get this meeting finished bright and early,
so you could attend the
meeting. Yeah. And when he started having all the lectures and so on, I used to sell all those. And eventually, Pointe-a-Pierre started a party group. When they started, a party group started. Pointe-a-Pierre started a party group. And I applied. And I remember the chairman at the time refused me because they believed I was an OWTU, right? And they had something against.
Yeah. At the time, yes.
At the time.
One could understand.
So they decided not to think it. But that didn't worry me. I insisted that I have to join this group. And I joined the group, and eventually we started.
Do you remember what year you joined the PNM? Do you remember?
It was quite early. I can't remember exactly what date. But
it would have been the 50s.
Yes, sure.
Okay.
it so happened that I became very active because during that period, anytime you have any meeting anywhere at all, I was always there.
So you were one of the organizers?
I prefer to be a backbencher, you know.
Okay.
I never want to be in front, but I always there.
Supported.
Right. And over the years, I became one of the top members in this Point-a-Pear constituency. Now, Point-a-Pear constituency...
You remember who the MP would have been around that time?
Yes, that Montano was the MP for San Fernando.
San Fernando East?
Yes.
Okay.
So that...
And Winston Mahabir was San Fernando West. Then
West.
Said Mohammed.
Right.
Okay.
And I remember that there was some representative, I don't remember his name, an Indian chap. Well, he was in San Fernando West, I think.
Said Mohammed.
Said Mohammed, right. So that...
Then you had Winston Mahabir before Said, but Winston Mahabir came in 56, and then 61 Said Mohammed came.
Right.
You remember this name, Lilas Wright?
Lilas White, yes.
Lilas White.
Yes, she was Point-a-Pear.
She was Point-a-Pear representative, Lilas White.
Right.
She was a good friend of Dr. Williams.
Right. Yes, she was a good person.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you had Peter Fakwa. Peter Fakwa was the DLP candidate for Point-a-Pear.
Point-a-Pear, right.
He was Canon Max Fakwa's son.
True, yeah.
On the Anglican Church.
Yeah.
So that would have been around your time. So you would have been competing for Lilas White against Peter Fakwa.
All right, that's right.
Are we facts there? Sounding good?
That's right, yes, you're coming good.
Right.
Yeah. There was, well, it was since before that. I remember when you had this fellow, what's his name? Now, there was a meeting where Dr. Lee and, you remember Dr. Lee and...
David Lee?
Huh?
Not David Lee? No, sorry.
Dr. Lee, I think.
Sorry,
David Lee, the fellow who they know.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
Mixing up Lee and them.
Yeah. He's, they fought, they went up for election. And he had Point-a-Pear, because they had a good bit of...
Is it Edward Lee?
I think it's Edward Lee.
Edward Lee,
right.
Lee, yeah.
And they decided they were going to think, what you had, this Indian fellow, he was, the fellow, I don't remember his name, but he was he came, now there was a meeting.
Is Musa him?
Yeah, no. He was from India. They had a meeting in Gasparillo at the cinema there. And I was at that meeting. I was living in Gasparillo at the time. And after the meeting, they came out, and he said he was from India, and the members decided there was a set of big shot boys. They wanted him to fight election. And he said that he couldn't and so on, but they eventually get him to fight. And he won the seat. In those days you had
the Centenarians?
No, it wasn't Centenarian. It was you had yeah, but But the fellow won.
You won the seat.
Won the seat for, the cane farmers came together. And I don't remember his name now, but he was the thing. And he fought and won a massive, some 4,000 or whatever, 40,000 or something like that. A massive...
a large amount of votes.
Yeah. And after that term, he went and he fought. He's the fellow who built a bridge somewhere in Chagonas or somewhere there.
Okay. Wasn't the fellow who built Ryson Road too?
Yeah, I think so, yes.
Yes, and his daughter, yes, I know who you're talking
You
about.
remember his name?
Yes, just now. He was an engineer.
Yes,
He was an engineer.
That's right.
He built Ryson Road. His daughter actually was the president of the American, I think the Chamber sound recently. I remember his name in a while. Yeah.
Right. But he went down there and he won a seat down in Caroni or somewhere there.
Yeah.
You know, and so on. But all that time I was in Pondicherry, I was Gasparillo, you know, and I used to come to meeting here, right in this hall here.
Right here?
Yes,
this building.
right in this building here. But eventually I became, over the years, I became very popular. I was
So you were one of the mainstay in this area, which is the Pointe-a-Pierre constituency for the PNM over a long period of time. When you so you remain active up to what time? When you stopped being an active member?
Well, I must say that I'm always an active member.
You're still active?
Yeah, I'm not PNM, but I can't move around as I would like now.
PNM in your blood?
That's right. There's nobody else but PNM. So
you have no regret in supporting the PNM?
Not at all, never.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where you see the PNM going now? Are you satisfied with the progress we have made?
Very well.
Thank you.
What I hope that they would come out and tell people what they have done, because a lot of people don't know. They can't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And so
we need to have a more exposure in terms of what we have, our achievements, our progress, the changes that we are making. Yeah.
Sure.
We need to be more. Yeah.
That is what I expect. But I am happy for what has taken place all over the years. I must say that I have been working at Pointe-a-Pierre since January 1938, the 2nd of January 1938.
So you started working at which was then Texaco.
It was
Leasehold.
It was TLL. Trinidad Leasehold.
Trinidad Leasehold, right. Trinidad Leasehold in 1958.
Right.
So you went through, when you quit, when you resigned from there?
I resigned in 1979, 78 I think it was.
Okay, so you stayed with Texaco for all that while because
when Texaco took over from TLL, and so on. I must say that I was treated badly, but I say I was contented. That is why people ask me what is my secret. I say, well,
for longevity.
Contentment.
A contented heart.
Right.
Well, Mr. Glovis, you have done extremely well. You have 11 children?
11 children.
And how many grand? Many grand and great grand. So you live a long life, and you have many more. We hope that you have many more years to go, and we look forward to spending another birthday with you and another milestone. What have all of us here amazed is your memory, because here it is you going back in 1956, 57, 58, and recounting, events that had occurred many years ago. You're more than twice some of us your age, and your memory is amazing. You look well. You have more hair than me. You have done extremely well. You were not ill from what I see. This is my second meeting with you. I was at another dinner luncheon with you a couple of weeks ago. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoy your company. On behalf of the city of San Fernando, I want to wish you good health and continued blessings. And on behalf of the People's National Movement, who you have served with distinction over the years, we want to wish you, again, good health and happiness the rest of your life. And I think the PNM is grateful for the contribution you have made over the years, because you came to us at a time, based on what you just said, when we needed you most. You said that in the first meeting in San Fernando, poorly attended, but you were there soldiering on, and you were there for the second meeting. You've been like a soldier in the constituency of Point of View, and by extension Marabella West, helping the party to, this great party, to where it is today. Without people like you and the contribution made by you, we would not be the PNM of now, and we would not have been saying great is the PNM. So we want to, let me just shake your hand and congratulate you and thank you for your contribution to the People's National Movement as we celebrate 100 years of life.
Thank you.
And we wish you good health and continued strength. Thank you. You want to expose to me voice? So we would congratulate you, I think, right? I was trying to remember the guy who built Ryson Road, his name. I was the engineer. He came from India as a young man. His daughter was in charge of the chamber at one time in the north. Some name, his name at all. And what did the name Rice Road after him recently? It was a contention. So, Mr. Lewis, well done. Well done. We want to know. Let us ask you, what is the secret? What did you did to make 100? Tell us, what is the secret?
Well, as I say, it's contentment.
Tell the showers.
I say it's contentment because when I started to work, I knew nothing. I was 17 and a half years old. Now, in those days, to start, it should have been 18 years. But through a good friend of my uncle, I got in when I was 17 and a half years old. And
so you worked at Trinity Soul and Texaco all your life, your entire life?
All my entire life.
What rank you rose to? When you resigned, what position you held?
I was a supervisor, pollution control.
Pollution control supervisor.
Whenever oil going down the river, that was my problem. I had a page boy that some member from the government side used to call me. They didn't used to call anybody. They
didn't call Mark Norton Jones.
No.
They called you.
They called me.
They didn't call Max Marshall. They called
Nobody
you.
They called.
They didn't call Oddie Morris. They didn't call Ozzie Morris. They called you.
That's right.
You know those names, right?
I'm sure.
Those were the movers and shakers in those days.
Yes, so
Ozzie Morris was the PR person. Max Marshall was also PR.
Right.
And then there was a little fellow called Gregory Ballantyne.
Well, that's my good friend.
Yeah, known as the club soul as GB.
Yeah,
he was also in the PR department in Texaco. You know. Yeah. So all these were the people who were more or less showcasing and showing that Texaco was in it. But what I recall about Texaco and its contribution is that Southern Games. Southern Games was where we got a chance to see Olympic runners and Olympic athletes and world-renowned stars who came to perform at Southern Games. That was the only showcase we had for opportunity for us as Southerners to see the best in the world.
True, yes.
And I'm grateful to Texaco for that. In those days, Southern Games was our marquee sporting event. I also remember playing steel pan with a band called Texaco West Stars, being sponsored by Texaco, and that's why I started playing pan in Springfield. And you will know this person. The manager of that band was a former mayor of San Fernando. His name was William Danley Steele. You know that name?
Oh yes, that we are together in
The Union.
In the Union, right?
Yeah, he was a union man too.
Yeah.
Well, he was my band leader when I started playing piano as a 13-year-old. And he was also a union man and also a PNM activist and went on to become the mayor of San Fernando. And I'm very fortunate to hold the same position many, many years after starting playing piano with Mr. Steele, William Danley Steele. So we share a couple of things in common.
Yeah, sure.
We belong to the same party. We are passionate about San Fernando, and we will continue to serve San Fernando, to serve our beloved party, because we think that the philosophy of the PNM is the best for Trinidad and Tobago.
One thing I remember that my party we had about 60 members in that party group. And Patrick Manning decided to divide up the group. He said, group too big. And he divided it up into 3. And
that was strategic.
We used to always keep our meeting here. My group. One was on the line, right? And the other one was somewhere on the main road there.
So you look,
those two disappeared, and my group remained here all the time.
Then you remember Junior Commission?
Junior Commission was party group 15, and I was party group 16 when they decided that Pointe-a-Pierre must be Pointe-a-Pierre, San Fernando West must be San Fernando West. So myself and Commission group was put over this side here. Well, eventually he died, you know.
Yeah, he died young, yeah.
So that...
left you in charge.
Yeah. And the fellow who took over his group was a fellow, he was our secretary here in the Friendly Society. He was a good secretary, but he was green in the true sense, not knowing what...
What about Everton Smith?
Everton Smith, yes, he was also at one time in party group. For a while I was in party group 1. And we always, that's my good friend, we always were eating.
I'll tell you a story with Everton Smith. I was courting my first wife, and Everton Smith was canvassing, and he came into the house and saw me there. And I started opposing his policies, and I was leaning more, as a teenager, I was leaning more to the NJAC side in those days. And Everton Smith said, you have to join the PNM. You must come up here. So that was a long, long time ago. And if he was alive today, he'd be very proud to see that I've changed. And I'm now other member of the People's National.
Yeah, he was a solid
guy. Very eloquent, very eloquent guy.
Oh, yeah.
And a musician too.
Oh yes,
that
guitar,
competent,
go without
very competent musician. Okay, all right. So, Mr. Lewis, thank you so much
for
your information. Okay, so they want to know what is your favorite meal?
My favorite meal?
Yeah.
I eat anything. I don't like pork, but I used to eat pork at one time because my mom used to mind pigs.
See.
And she liked the fat part of the pork.
He only wants to know that because he wants to know how you live so long, so he could do the same thing.
Anything they give me. Right now, I could tell you, I get up in the morning, I walk down the road, I buy 2 papers.
Still doing that?
Yes, I'm still doing that.
At the function, I attended to sit every morning and discuss politics. His passion is politics.
I have a cane, I walk from there to about, say, like,
so
out on the main road.
Live in Pleasant Park?
That's about this.
Pleasant Park still?
No, I live right here in Marabella.
In Marabella, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I will walk from my home there, which is a distance about from here to out the main road, right? And back. And I have breakfast, and I sit in my recliner, and I read the papers, all what those camps the other side do and so on.
So your followers going on with the mayor of San Fernando as well?
Oh yes, I am P&M.
So how is the mayor performing in San Fernando? How is he doing?
Well, I am happy that you have, now if I tell you, when you fought the election and you didn't win the,
2010.
yeah, I was surprised. But I say, well, I had a feeling that you could do better than that, you know. But I would say since then, when they make you the mayor, I am satisfied with the work that you're doing.
On that note, Mr. Lewis, I want to thank you for this interview. Thank you for chatting with you and sharing. Yeah, and sharing your experiences with us. And so I was prompted to ask you this question: if you had to give any young person an advice right now, what would be your advice to them?
Well, I believe in God, and I go to my church. Every Saturday I go to my church and so on.
What religion are you?
Catholic.
Catholic. So you think aligning yourself to God and spirituality is an inspiration and it helps you and keep you on track?
That's
that would
right.
be advice to any young person, young people out there with that.
Yes, yes. Believe in God.
Believe in God.
Always remember that God have a plan for every man, and He have one for you.
Yes.
So, as I say, I was always contented. Whatever they do me, I just shake that off. And I never really worry about anything.
Mr. Lewis, you have lived a good life, and may God continue to bless you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Papa, is there anything that you have not done as yet that you feel you want to do it before you depart this life?
Oh, well, no. I feel I have done everything. I am happy that I did all I wanted to do, because as I say, when I started to work, I didn't know a thing. I didn't know one thing at all. And I got to know, I walked through from that day as a journeyman, a young man, and so on. And things happened to me that I say, God work. Because
God had a plan for you.
yes, God has a plan for me.
Mr. Lewis, congratulations. 100 years and counting, Mr. Carl Lewis.
Cecil.
Mr. Cecil, why I keep saying Carl? Mr. Cecil Lewis. Let me repeat it. Mr. Cecil Lewis from Point of Pierre, from who worked at Texaco, Trinidad Leasehold, a member of the People's National Movement. 100 years and counting, Mr. Cecil Lewis.
Right, that's right.
Folks, thanks for indulging me and giving me the opportunity to interview this very great gentleman. I used to agree with him very years. We know you have some plans and things you don't want to take away from what you have planned, so it's not all yours. I'm going to record, say how long you're a PLM, what we do, what you're going to grandchildren, what we do. And I will also say that 5 wives. I'm going to say 5 wives. Just said that. So I'm not going to whistle, I'm not going to say anything, right? Cecil, have a great evening.
And you thanks for coming.
Yeah, that plan's here for you. We'll treat you well. All right. You're good.